What is up, tea people? Today, a little different. Well, a little different, a little similar. Gonna go and compare some single tree and I guess just like bush forest from a producer I've yet to try. YYT, Yuan Tong. Sorry for the mispronunciation, everybody. Here we have the, let's see how much leaf I have here. I think I have enough. So I'm going to do a comparison here. This is the A tin. And I'm going to try to get 5 grams in here if I have it. These look like pretty good pieces here. So we're doing a 2010, 2013, same region material, or sorry, same forest or whatever. But one of these is going to be, let's see how much I have in here. Oh, man, kind of like perfectly. Let's see how much I have total in here. 8 grams. Okay, so why don't we'll do, I think I have a bit more of the single tree. So I'll do a 4 gram session here. Pull out one of these bigger chunks here and see where we land. .8, 0.9, 4.2, close enough. So this enabled me to go and give this a second shot as well. So again, the 2010 Forest Gushu material is going to be in tin A. And then in tin B, we're going to do the single tree, single bush. Aiming for 4.2 grams here. And I'll actually get these opened up again real fast here and show everyone the material. Hope everyone's doing awesome. I will try to timestamp this so that people can skip to the tasting itself. And we're there. Okay. Awesome. So some prep is what it is, but I think it might be interesting for people to at least see kind of how this goes and what it looks like. Now the lighting here is not going to be the absolute best by any stretch, but we should be able to see some difference in the material. And yeah, I think you can definitely tell that the 2013 single tree is a much lighter complexion. I'm going to try my best to just sort of ignore that when I'm actually doing the tasting and try not to be literally looking at the leaves until a bit of the way through. I'm not trying to guess. I just don't want the single tree fanciness to bias my impression of these teas. So we're going to cover them up here. And cue the music here. Now again, if I wanted to be focused on this and figuring out exactly which one is which, I could be, you know, cheating this and doing my little juggling hats magician trick and so forth. But I'm not, and I'm just chronically too underslept from having a child to be able to remember, frankly, much of anything at all. So, cool. That's where we're going to end up. Pulling out the tea trays here. And again, I am going to pour and let's see if I can actually get far enough out here for everybody to take a quick peek. Make sure a little bit of enough focus here. Doink. So yeah, I'm going to try my best to not look at this material here and just pour it in there and cover up. Now, I'm going to close my eyes here and show everyone that this one is on the left. Okay, put that over there. Same with this one on the right here. Come on. Hopefully I'm not Brutal. Come on. Okay. And on the right. Okay. Cool. Get in there. Reheat this water. And yeah, this is it's kind of a fun thing to do. It's again, this isn't the most radically scientific way of doing anything here. I just want to try to not have the again, the kind of like, I just don't want to let these teas bias me at all on this session. So I'll be right back and let this water boil. Okay. Oh yeah, that is full. Trying to just not, I don't know, how do I do this without looking at the material? Kind of impossible, but we're doing our best. Now I'm actually just gonna let these hang out for a sec and rehydrate, heat up the gaiwan, and get a good solid rinse going on here. And yeah, we'll get in the smells on these in a sec. So just quick impressions here in terms of the liqueur. I'm guessing that the older material is on the left, A, just by virtue of the pungent already. Just by the color. Okay. Ooh, I have a nice sweet aftertaste smell thing. Oops. A bit more barbecue. Cool. Okay. Well, I'm excited for the session. Again, I'm very unfamiliar with this producer, Taiwanese boutique. I think the Jade Leafs does sell some of these teas. Gonna give this kind of a 5-second. Steeping here. I might toss this one and really just try to be as true to the first sips here as I possibly can be. We'll see. I'm gonna look and see how dark this brews out. Much lighter. Very interesting. Kinda want to, I think that should be fairly noticeable. Come on, you. It's not at all. Okay. Well, I'll get in close on the cups. We're gonna toss this. Sorry y'all, I keep saying this stuff. Again, I'm gonna let this hang out for like 5 seconds or so. It is harder to see the difference in the material at this point too in the gaiwan, so that's good. Helps me. Part of the difference in color could be the quantity of the chunks of the leaves and the density of the compression compared to between the two. One thing to watch out when you're doing comparisons, which I've already talked about a couple times, is making sure that you're using the same teaware, pouring out the same quantity of tea, because the difference in height of the different teas will have a different impact on the color or the saturation. To me, the one right here definitely has a darker complexion. Although, really in the cups, not so much. There's a like a fruit thing happening at the very end of the nose on this. Ooh, and now into a deeper more baking spice, even brown sugar. And into that one now. Nice, maybe slightly more perfumey and flowery. I'm gonna go ahead and see if I can get over here for everybody. zoomed in a little bit. So yeah, I think that's noticeable. I think you can all see the difference there. And then let's go ahead and take a look at the material for everybody as well. And let's just get a little closer. Why not? So in terms of the cup color and the material, I'd say that, you know, probably fairly hard to tell at this point. We'll go left to right, second steeping, right to left, and alternate. Here we go. Cheers. Wow. A really high noted lychee fruit thing on this one. Not a lot of base, a light woodiness, but this feels very high noted to me for a Shang tea. Really interesting. Hold on one second. Okay. Again, lasting, really high noted fruit on that. Pretty interesting. Yeah, interesting. Okay. Cheers. Much more happening. More classic Shang wood to me, deeper, more green grass, not really grass, but a little bit of a, yeah, there's a sharp green flavor in this, but it has much larger breadth of character. Much more going on. The first tea for me just tasted like high noted lychee fruit. This one has a lot more bitterness. You know, almost oolong in its character. The minerals kind of come a little bit of that rock taste. Yan, I think. But really one noted. Kind of like short, not a lot of lasting character on that one. First impressions is neither of these are strong enough for me. I am using a little less than normal in terms of my... There's a nice fruit thing, but kind of classic plum on the one on the right. This is a case where I'm actually just going to step up the intensity pretty dramatically to immediately here. Again, boiling water. And we're going to hit this for 15 seconds. I want to get into the character of these teas, and I'm not sensing the strength of these teas quite yet. So I can tell that we're just not, yeah, there's just a lot more to go here. Neither of these taste very deep or bassy to me. You know, a lot of... Ooh, kind of. Oh. Sorry. So, sweetgrass and then like this medicinal character It's gone now. Whoa. A cherry cough syrup character on that. Ooh, this one went. Okay, this one went for a little longer. Whoops. And I'm gonna do, and this is kind of sacrilege, especially for a comparison here. Oh, these are much darker already. I'm gonna hit this one for even longer. Not the most scientific. Wow. That cherry note, or like that cherry medicine cough syrup thing, really kind of got me. Very different. Again, the one on the right brewing up a little lighter. Pretty classic on the nose there. That cherry thing is. Ew. Oh, echinacea is what I'm getting on that. Yuck. Not my thing. Very strange. Tastes really different in the cup versus steeping. Reminds me of my mom used to make us take echinacea like extract as kids when we have a cold, which I think is there's something there. Oh God, I'm just, yeah. Both of these have like kids medicine tastes. Interesting. In terms of the liqueur, the one here on my left feels or looks rather much darker to me. Oh God, I want that like out of my. It's there and it's still there. Interesting. Ooh, much more perfumey. I prefer the one on the right for a lot of reasons. The lychee note on the one on the left was kind of interesting, but on the right has a ton of a jasmine flower. Much more perfumey and sweet on the right. It also to me had a much better base profile, and so okay. Let me go ahead and start with the one on the right here. Actually, let me just get in here real quick. And again, should be, I think that's fairly noticeable in terms of the difference. And again, you know, how do you know that these are going to be this is a fair comparison? Look at the shape of the circle of the tea. It means that the height of how far up the tea goes in the cup is basically identical, which means that we're extracting roughly the exact same amount of water. This is important because we're trying to be as careful about having the comparison be as fair as possible. Now, I just totally butchered that by getting caught up in syrup medicine flavors, but anyway, here we go. Quite bitter and astringent. But kind of just like punching it like an 8 out of 10. Some sweetness comes. There's that sharp green character that I'm not in love with. I don't know. I don't think this is doing it for me. Maybe small hints of chocolate. Very like milk chocolate. Yeah. Okay, here we go. I'm scared. Cheers. Yeah. Nope. No. I'm done with the one on the left. I'm gonna hit the one on the right again. I don't know. Who knows which one's which? I'm gonna say, just by virtue of the color of the liqueur, that the one on the left is gonna be A. It's just got a darker character. I don't even remember which one of these two teas had darker material or not. I think the 2013 had lighter material, and maybe it's visible here. I'd say that the material itself, pretty hard to tell from there. Maybe the one on the right's a little bit brighter. But I pretty much would just be going from the soup color. We are correct. One on the right, on my right here, is the 2013 single tree material. I think it's a lot better than the one on the left, than the Gushu forest material. But like, yeah, I don't know. Not really in love with either of them. I'm gonna give this one not 15 or whatever. Give it like 5 here. Sorry, everybody. Brewing it out much lighter. Yeah, it you know, it's nice. I mean, wow. Okay. Much more incense. Interesting. You know, the problem with the one on the right here, the 2013 single tree, is, and that's the Donshu. Help me. I don't know, everybody. Sorry, pronunciation, not my strong suit here. It just isn't strong enough. And so, you know, I might like a little bit of the complexion, kind of some baking spices, some brown sugar, but it's not strong enough to age it for a long time. It's not strong enough right now. I don't know where this is going to go, but I just don't, skeptical. Okay, cheers. Okay, it's nice. This one is nice. It's not very remarkable though. I don't know. That green character has relaxed a little bit. I like the upper register on the sweetness. It's got some nice fruit sweetness to it. It just kind of lacks in intensity overall. I have an 08 8582 that I probably assume is much cheaper than this, and it's like one of my just kind of go-to daily drinkers. And I don't know, it just like, it's just as sweet and fruity on the top end, but it has a much more base. This one really just feels like we're kind of hitting like a 7 out of 10 in terms of the volume. Also really not deep. Push this one more time. Interesting. So I have a stack of samples still to try from YYT Tang. But yeah, I don't know if this character is my preference. James, I think, tried a couple of these and he didn't give me much feedback, but I'm not surprised that James wasn't a big fan of them. I think they lack a lot of the bassy wood that I know James really loves. I'm not always needing to be in that camp. I like to have balance. I like to have strong character on the bass end and the top end. I think James doesn't care to have as much high noted character in tea in Shan tea. But I obviously I know he likes it. It's just I think he really seeks that kind of bassier character, and this I think lacks that. So I'm not surprised that James is not as smitten. The quality of the leaves are, unsurprisingly quite nice. I don't know, it doesn't, yeah. Not particularly remarkable, Again, for a single tree tea, sometimes you kind of hope for like that, like, oh, it's just lychee all over, and yeah, I don't know. This doesn't. little bit more yerba mate hay on that. It doesn't have that sort of like strong push that I think I love. I think my one camera here is going to die potentially, so I'll try to wrap this up. Cheers. This is better, but it's still thin. There's not enough on the base. I can see some people liking this. This has a almost a Phoenix Oolong-esque character to it. The floral is certainly a big part of this. Yeah. I'm gonna keep exploring. I might not do any more of these on camera. I'd say fine, but I think I'm gonna end up giving these samples to another friend. I don't feel a need to review these ones again. Yeah, interesting. Hopefully this was interesting for everybody. Get out there, get yourself some tins, try some blind tastings, see what you think. You learn or solidify some of your own knowledge and learnings from tea, about tea, by doing it. It's certainly a good idea to take as much of yourself out of the equation, as much of your anticipatory response of, oh, this is the fancy one, out of the equation. Really try to just taste the tea for what it is. Fancy tea, expensive tea, cheap tea. Who cares about the price? Who cares about the story in some sense? The actual cup should be really enticing and delicious. Now, of course, I do love the story. I do love the photos and stuff like that. I definitely like those parts of tea. Don't get me wrong, but I think in terms of just evaluation, you really want to just try to be drinking the pure consciousness that is tea. Okay. Until next time, send this to your stuff. People, click buttons, whatever. Love you guys. Peace.